Hey everyone, Mike from Mortgage Nerds here in Appleton, Wisconsin. I am with
Brian Hofmann, also with Mortgage Nerds.
Yes. Today we want to talk about when is the best time to get pre-approved for a mortgage?
When is the best time to plant a tree?
20 years ago.
When's the second best time?
Today.
Perfect.
All
That
right.
is the best time to get pre-approved then.
All right. So, but I'm
Whether
not
a
gonna
month
buy.
ago,
I'm not gonna buy a house for 2 years. I'm just thinking about it.
even better. Now is still your time to get pre-approved.
Why?
Depending on your situation, how do you know you're actually pre-approvable in 2 years? How do you know that there isn't something on your credit report that you don't even know is there that could affect the home buying process? How do you know there isn't something that you could work on to better your position 2 years from now to qualify for a home?
Not even that you wouldn't qualify. It's that puts you in a better situation. that
Right.
you
What if
qualify for anymore.
you're a 680 credit score and all of a sudden, you know what, you could do a little bit of things and in 2 years you're with the right,
Guidance.
that's
Yeah.
perfect word I'm looking for. You get to a 780 and now that drastically improves how you're qualifying,
Your interest rate. And
a lot of different factors. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we go off the saying, you don't know what you don't know. And we use that term quite a bit. But you guys don't know what income you can use for qualification. And maybe you don't even have a full-time job. I just talked to somebody recently. They're just graduated from college. They're like, I want to buy a house, but not for a couple of years. Actually talking to the parents. I'm like, they need to talk to us now, today. Let's educate and empower them to make great financial decisions to set them up so they can buy a home. So let's look at their credit, right?
Absolutely.
Let's make sure that's all in line. Let's talk about what debt ratio means. So let's talk about LTV.
Right.
Let's talk about variable income, like all those conversations. So they're not making decisions today that will affect them in the future to prevent them from buying a home, right?
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of times you hear, parents, grandparents, whatnot say, you need 20% down, you're going to buy a house, save up for 20%, and in 2 years you can put your 20% down, buy a home. Well, that 20% might actually be used in a better way to pay down debt to actually qualify for what they need and put them in a better situation. So that saving and waiting doesn't benefit them as much as paying debt off or down and putting you in a better position to improve your credit for your loan to value, things along those lines to where it's going to help significantly.
Yeah, we can talk through that old adage, that old myth too, that if you're one of those parents out there or grandparents, whatever that is still doing that one, call us, let's have a conversation. But we can pass that and break down the barriers of how you don't need 20% down. Heck, you can do no money down in Wisconsin. WIDA program, it's a phenomenal program. You can put no money down, and by the time it would take to save up 20% down, the equity you would have had in a new home, it's phenomenal.
Sure. I mean, especially in right now, our current market in Wisconsin, still the appreciation that's going on. If you took the time to save up versus buying now and the appreciation that you'd have 2-3 years down the road, it's exponential. It's crazy how that 20% saving for that actually would cost you money in the long run.
Yeah.
Now, the market's always changing and swinging. Yeah. However, most of the time, you will benefit more buying now than waiting 2 years to save up for that down payment.
A better financial situation.
Absolutely.
And then what we also like to do is have the conversation. So if let's say we'll use the example of it's a younger person, maybe in college, whatever. We talk about debt ratio, what your budget is and what you can afford. You can talk about buying a single family home. You can talk about buying a duplex and living in half, and then how that would affect you buying your house in the future. Having these global conversations, again, educating and empower them. And then also having the conversation of, hey, I see you don't have a car payment right now. Don't go out and lease and have $1,000 Jeep or Lexus payment because you had 0% financing. This is how that would affect you.
And one of the major things that happens, and we see it all the time, is when somebody starts to feel financially fit and ready to buy, the first thing they do is they go out and they get a car.
Yep.
And now that car just cost you your, borrowing power exponentially. Instead of get the house, get the car down the road, and it's definitely going to put you in a better spot.
Give you a peek behind the scenes. When these things happen, we look at each other and we say, we'll joke around about it once in a while and say, I hope that truck was big enough so they can actually live in it now, because this happens so much, and it actually fuels us to get out there and educate and empower you guys, because these common mistakes happen over and over and over again. It's just from a lack of knowledge or people getting out there or being educated. So we're trying to prevent that type of stuff. So the more we can be in front of young people or people that are just misinformed about their current situation, we love talking to people that are planning. Like, it's not a waste of our time by any means. If we can educate you now and you say 1 year or 2 years down the road that you want to buy a home, but because honestly, we know once you're educated too, and we're helping you down that path, hopefully we've earned your trust and that you're going to use this for your financing. But we also know that homes are motivators, right? So once we let you know that, yep, you're pre-approved, you're good now, and you want to know that your situation's good, a home pops up on the market 2 months from now, there's a good chance that you may make a move on it, even though you said it's 2 years from now. It may be the opportunity that you're looking for today.
Right, without a doubt. I mean, always one of our key things that we always talk about is using your home to help build wealth. It's the best tool that you have to build wealth.
Absolutely.
Starting that process sooner than later helps empower you to put yourself in that best financial situation.
And also, one last thing is that it puts us in a tough spot too. So we had these conversations with you, and then you say, "Oh, I'm not gonna buy a house for another year." Okay, and if we don't push and get the actual application and get you educated now, we know I would say over 50% of the time, I'm getting a call, in 2 months saying, "Hey, I found a house. I need a pre-approval letter in an hour." It's not the way the system works, right? Do we always try to accommodate our clients? Yes, but on a Saturday afternoon when I already talked to you 2 months ago and you didn't want to fill out an application, but now you need a pre-approval today.
And you're up north away from a computer,
right?
And you just can't do it at that point.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, we always try to accommodate, but there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that's going to hurt your financial situation by getting pre-approved, having a detailed conversation with a loan officer to get educated, to get empowered,
right?
So you don't make bad decisions.
And yes, there will be a hard credit pull. A hard credit pull is a mandatory thing.
Yep.
No, it does not affect your credit the way that most people perceive it to affect your credit.
Right.
So don't be scared about a hard credit pull. Where you're going to get hurt the worst is if you're applying for credit cards and car loans and numerous different things, and then your mortgage, absolutely, you're going to take a hit.
Yep.
But that's everything. You don't constantly apply for credit.
Right.
You're going to take a small 2, 3, 4 point hit, maybe. Nothing that's going to drastically jeopardize
financing.
Exactly. So yes, it's going to be a hard credit inquiry because we need that to be able to do our jobs.
Yep. To actually give you real good information. And we don't do that. Just so you know, here, mortgage nerds, we don't make assumptions. Like, assume I do, my credit score is 740 and that kind of stuff. It gets us in trouble. And then it's like, well, you said we need an actual application.
Yeah.
We'll talk through actual details and go through everything, again, with no obligation. But we just like to educate and provide truth and not speculate on certain things.
Without doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. So when's the best time to get pre-approved?
Today.
Doesn't matter when you're looking at buying. Today, get educated, get empowered.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Remember, mortgages are complex. Let mortgage nerds
give you the answers you need.
See ya.